Hey, hello, welcome to Inspiring Charitam YouTube channel. Here, I talk about stories that inspire you and make you take the right decisions in life. Well, though, let's begin the story. It was dark outside and still drizzling. Sophia was restless and was looking at the watch, waiting for her husband Mark to come home from office. He's never late and always responds to messages. So, what happened? Pacing through the hallway, Sophia yelled, "Is he cheating on me now?" After calming down for a bit, she said, "Why did I do that?" Sophia broke down on her dining table. Which you mean for Mark? It's their fifth marriage anniversary. She prepared all the favorite dishes for him. Ella, their 2-year-old daughter, is with her grandparents today. Sophia was looking at the picture of their wedding, and flashback of her wedding brightened her face. But then seconds later, horror memories broke her once again. Sophia's life was perfect 6 months ago when she moved to her new job. A successful one, a successful corporate. Sophia landed a great offer. Good money, insurance, and better personal and professional balance. Mark was doing most of the heavy lifting in terms of supporting the family financially. He's a very popular physician and remains quite busy. He is a wonderful husband. Regular dates, dinners, gifts, flowers, and often gives surprises gifts to Sophia. Well, Sophia was his queen, and he was very happy with his life, along with his princess Ella. It was just 10 days of working in the new office, and when John walked into the office in Sophia's team, things changed. Light moments, sharing details of common interests, cigarette breaks, led to an emotional connection between Sophia and John. Unaware of all these, Mark decided to change his job to a near hospital. They pay less, but he thought, well, I'm going to spend more time with my family. He thought he would give his wife a surprise. After all, the last few days, Sophia was acting distant. She wasn't emotionally and physically available. Mark was told that his work hours have taken a toll on Sophia. Well, crying in the dining, Sophia suddenly heard a ring. A doorbell ring. She rushed to the door to see a drenched Mark. A worried Sophia rushed to hug him, but Mark gently pushed her away. A confused Sophia looked at Mark, whose eyes were puffy. It was evident that Mark was crying. He has been crying, in fact, for a long. But Sophia confessed about her affair a month back. What happened now? Mark dismissed her presence and went to shower. A heartbroken Sophia remembered that Friday evening when John first leaned on her to kiss. She could have resisted. She could have pushed him back. That was the moment she could have chosen to back her family. Instead, she let him kiss her. A day after, she went out with John and started her aggressive physical affair. Mark was living in oblivion and asking Sophia to tell him if there is anything wrong. He was suggesting marriage counseling. Sophia told, "You are paranoid. There's nothing wrong with me or you. I'm just stressed. Why can't you support me in these tough times?" Well, Mark figured there is something wrong in her office, maybe, and continued to live the lie that he was going to live for the next 4 months. Mark could have lived a lie for even longer period if Sophia wouldn't have ordered a pizza on Saturday night. And Sophia was spending the first weekend at home after almost 2 months. For Mark, she was either busy with her new project, or helping her mom with something, or out with her girlfriends. But Sophia was living a double life by then. Practically, she was lying about everything. Her disregard for her husband and daughter was preposterous. But when she went for a quick shower, Mark picked up the phone just to check the pizza they were waiting for. His life wouldn't be the same again after that moment. He stared at the screen where he saw a message from a man from John's office. Yeah, sure, he has heard about him from his wife, but the message itself was a deathly blow. It read, "Love you, honey. Can't wait to be in your arms tomorrow." Mark looked at the message in disbelief. He tried to save the messages, but the thread was carefully deleted, and all he had was a message and a broken marriage by this point. When Sophia came out of the shower and saw Mark with her phone, she realized that her world is going to change forever. The look of horror on Mark's face was enough to tell her that her decision has destroyed the man she once loved. But did she love Mark at that point of time? Maybe yes, maybe no. Sophia cried and said to Mark when he confronted her in the living hall. The pizza was by then turned into a cold meal, and Mark only got few details from her. Yes, she had an affair. It was a one-time thing, and it meant nothing. Sophia insisted that it was just a lapse of judgment from her side, and they can fix it. She offered to cut contact with John and change job. Sophia thought, if she lies and minimizes the truth, then Mark will never find out. She was desperate to save her family, but she didn't know that she was actually harming her family by omitting the details more than ever. Mark left that night for a hotel and didn't come back for the next 2 days. Sophia messaged and called him to a point that he had to shut his phone down. Mark took off and put off his plan to change his job. He was numb. His queen has destroyed him. The thought of losing half of the time with Ella devastated him. He knew divorce is an option, but he was still thinking, was it the only option? When Sophia went back to her office and told John that she wanted to cut contact and focus on her marriage, John replied, "Hey, why couldn't you lie?" That was the moment of awakening for Sophia. She realized what she has done. She destroyed the man she loved for a full person who didn't even have an iota of respect for her. She snapped out of that fog, and the reality hit her hard. The next few days, she went to contact HRs and made John switch the branch. She knew it was impossible for her to work with John, but she didn't want to lose the job as well. Mark eventually returned and then agreed to reconcile on terms of truth, respect, and honesty. Both of them knew that the marriage they ever had was over. It was a new relationship, and they have to start everything from scratch. Sophia started doing the things Mark liked. They started cuddling, kissing, and being intimate again. On the surface, it looked all good, but the collapse was still pending. Sophia planned for the 5th anniversary and took Ella to her parents' house. Her parents knew that there were some issues, but they never suspected that their little daughter stepped out the marriage. She insisted that she is working on her marriage and is going to do everything possible for her husband. But she didn't do the basic thing. She didn't tell Mark the truth. Mark left the day to the office rather smiling. He was seeing his old wife again. After all, there was something to salvage, maybe. The day was quite off, and he went for the lunch on his own. After this whole chapter, He has started to spend time for himself. He goes to the gym, reads books, writes his papers and researches. Treating himself a lunch was another thing to hear. On his way to the nearby restaurant, he found an old phone in his bag. The Android phone was in his bag for about few months, and he even forgot about it. It was Sophia's phone, and Sophia switched to iPhone now. It was charged, and he just decided to see the old photos and blame text between them to feel good about the relationship. The restaurant have just started and opening up with limited capacity as the virus was not at its peak. He opened the Google Photos and truth revealed itself to him. Mark found out that there are photos of John and Sophia for almost 4 months. He suddenly came to the senses. He realized he was struggled truth. It wasn't a slip up or a one time thing. It was a 4 months of deception, lies, and a full blown affair. They were pictured holding hands, sleeping in a hotel bed, dining together, and whatnot. They even went for a 3 days of vacation together. His legs were shaking, his heart was pounding, and he couldn't move. He called sick off and sat there at the restaurant in total disbelief. Sophia asked Mark, "Has he been crying today? Why was he late?" She even had the audacity of thinking whether Mark is having a revenge affair. She didn't know that Mark was actually dealt with the blow of her affair for the first time. Her lies, even after getting caught, have destroyed him. Mark stood as a defeated man and told her, "Why are you even trying? If the 4 months of lie were not enough, you decided to continue to lie to me again. I thought you realized your fault. You said that in your marriage counseling, then why you lied that it was just a one time thing?" Sophia mumbled and said something incoherent, but Marky yelled, "Don't you dare to lie to me again. I know more than you can imagine." Sophia knew she had sneaked her life and family. There is no coming back. The burden of guilt and remorse consumed her as she broke down on the floor and told Mark actually what happened. She confessed for the first time. She did well for John and disrespected Mark, but when John asked her why she couldn't lie, she realized what she has done. She insisted that she fell in love with Mark all over again. Her pleading, sobbing, and begging to stay and reconcile wasn't actually on the menu for the fifth marriage anniversary. But the receipt for lie and infidelity bolted the last nail in the coffin of her marriage. It was still drizzling when Mark left the house and told, "There's nothing we can say. I just can't trust a word that comes out of your mouth." Mark never saw what was there at the dining table. So Sophia did see her future running away from her that night. Hey, how do you like the story? What do you think? Please let us know your views in our comment section. Please share your stories with us as well. Please subscribe us and hit that bell icon for more such wonderful stories and videos so that you get notification whenever we upload a new video. Thank you so very much for watching and have a great rest of the day wherever you are. See you until the next video. Thank you.